Hi, I'm Catherine,
I'm Teresa.
and we are the co-authors of the book Pass the Baton, Empowering All Music Students.
Our goal is to share stories of educators who are passing the baton and empowering their music students. We want to help teachers create music lessons that transform students from passive consumers to vibrant creatives. So welcome. We are excited to be here with Steve Selfridge. I've known Steve for a while. In fact, I've known Steve since before he was Dr. Selfridge, which maybe that makes me something special. I don't know. But we're really glad that you're here today. So can you tell us a little bit about your background and your current teaching situation?
Sure. Teresa, Catherine, thank you for having me. Okay, my background is I've been teaching, I think this is like my 20th year. I started in 2001. You know how the years just start to go by and all of a sudden you look behind you and you're amazed at how long you've been teaching. But so I got lucky with my first gig out of college. I was hired in Garnet Valley School District, which is a really fantastic school district. And they had a part-time middle school classroom music job. It was like, I think it was like 0.2 or something, or it was like such a small amount of salary, but I took it knowing that it was likely to grow, and it did grow into, I became the elementary band director, and I was elementary band director for a number of years. I also taught jazz band, middle school jazz band there. And this is now my fourth year. I moved up to the high school, and I've been high school band directing for the past several years.
That's awesome. And Garnet Valley in Southeast Pennsylvania, correct?
Yes, just outside of Philadelphia.
Awesome.
Very nice. Well, we know that several years ago you started creating some videos for your band students. And I guess just maybe there's lots of questions we have, but maybe to start, what was your motivation behind creating the projects or the videos, and like how did you develop it?
Well, there's a story that I tell that is, kind of at the very beginning. I had some fourth grade beginner flutes who just came into their lesson, and out of the blue, they were begging me to learn Katy Perry's Firework. And I didn't even know the song. Like it was probably out for 2 years at that point, but I just was not like aware of it. This is 2011. So I don't know, whenever that song came out. And I was like, okay, I don't know this song. So we Googled it, and I listened to it. And I'm thinking, okay, this is, so fa mi re re do mi da 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 da. I'm like, well, this is a 5-note melody. Like fourth grade flutes can handle this. So I taught it to them of course, I transposed it to B flat, and that was that. And then so what started happening is every lesson group started coming in. Hey, I heard you taught the flutes how to play Firework, and I was like, okay, here we go. So I'm like, here's what I'm going to do. You hold my phone, and I'm going to teach it to the phone. We'll video it. I'll put it up on YouTube, and you guys can just go learn it. So then, that's where it just started to snowball from. The video started to get views and comments from all these other kids from different schools, and that just excited me so much to see. I was like, wow, it was like a light bulb moment. I mean, I'm far from the first person to think of this. I mean, this had all been happening since the early 2000s, I guess, and with Khan Academy and things like that. The flipped classroom, and the light bulb just went off for me. I got so excited about it, thinking that I can invest this, 10 minutes, 50, whatever time it takes to make a video, and then it's out there, and that time is multiplied to an infinite degree. It's there. Any kid can watch it. It's like my teaching, any of our teaching can be multiplied, to an infinite degree where it's just out there for students to learn from. So anyway, it really snowballed from there, and it motivated me to make more videos. And here we are.
Yeah. And I just wonder, I guess, how is the learner experience changed for your kids by having all these videos?
I see. Yeah. So what it's really done, well, what it really did at the elementary level. Now I'm at the high school level, and my channel tends to be more sort of focused at that beginner few couple years of experience level. I would like to expand into some more advanced content, but at the elementary level, what I found was it really empowered the students in a couple ways. They would, on one hand, if there was a student who was sort of struggling and sort of behind the other students, they just, that one student that still doesn't know hot cross buns like a week before the concert, right?
Yeah.
Maybe more than one student, right? And you're like, so, and what happens is the concert's in a week, and now they're super motivated to learn hot cross buns because the concert's in a week. And I'm like, hey, look, we're working on this in class, but here's the video on hot cross buns, go learn it. And then they go and learn it. And that, to me, that's it's just magical every time. They come in the next week and boom, they know it. And I didn't teach it to them. I mean, I sort of did, but they learned it on their own. So it empowers the students in that way. And also it just reinforces those students who are just, moving along at the sort of average pace. They get that reinforcement at home. Their parents, who can help them with math and science and history at home usually can't help them with music as much. So they have that resource at home. And then you've got the students who are just craving more and more. You can't give them enough to practice. And, their homework was to practice page 9 in the book, and they come back having learned some Careless Whisper, as we mentioned earlier before we started. And it gives those students something to excel with.
In case anybody hasn't seen your YouTube channel, which I know we can't imagine that somebody hasn't, can you tell us, maybe just brag for a moment and tell us, what is the channel? Give us some of the stats, little stuff like that.
Okay. So it's Dr. Selfridge Music. So if you just search Dr. Selfridge Music, you'll find it. And the channel at this point, I think I have somewhere 200 some videos, various beginner songs, different concepts, maybe teaching a scale, how to play certain notes on the instrument. I try to get most of the band instruments in there, but being a woodwind person, I have more flute, clarinet, and sax videos. I am working to partner with some people to expand the content to full band instrument complement. But now it really has grown to, I think we're at about 240,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So it's great, and I've consciously, when you get into the whole world of being a YouTuber, it's this whole universe that I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I consider myself a teacher who likes to share lessons and content on YouTube. And so I don't focus so much on, how many views did this video get? Oh, geez, I only got this many subscribers this month. To me, it's just a growing library that's going to be there for teachers and students. And the subscription numbers are secondary for sure.
There's definitely been many times where I'll have a student who starts midway through the year, or maybe even starts like a year later than the peers. And the first thing that I will do is I'll send them one of the playlists from your beginning, okay, here's 6 beginning flute videos. Start off by watching these and then we'll talk, and I can help you, because I know that there's going to be good content there, and that the kids can, like you said, take that ownership, have that empowered feeling where they can do it. And many parents, as you mentioned, also have been pleased about that they have something that they can look at right alongside of their child to work through these processes. So
yeah, and those students who are joining a year or two later than their peers, they are extra motivated because they want to catch up. So having that resource there, they can really do a lot of catching up on their own. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really
it's so nice how your classroom has opened up, to beyond your walls of your classroom. Like when kids want access to the content, it's right there. That's so fantastic that they can move at their own pace, and they can review, because there are those kids that, you told them, but just by doing it one time in class it's not enough, right? And how many times do I go back and look at something on a YouTube video when I'm trying to learn something new? It's not just one and done. So that's really fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. That was another motivating factor was, I think a lot of us, depending on where you're teaching, what part of the country, what teaching situation you're in, where in our area of the country, the norm is 30-minute instrument lessons once a week, pull-out lessons, right? So when in reality that becomes a 20-minute lesson of real instruction if you're lucky, right? By the time they get there and they put their instrument together and they leave, and who's getting pulled out for testing or something. So having that small amount of precious time with them, they really need that reinforcement when they leave, because they're not going to remember everything you say. They need that reinforcement when they're not in your lesson group, not in your lesson.
Sure. And there's like a level of independence of, hey, I can look that up. I can help myself. It's not, well, I'm going to have to wait for the teacher to tell me, but it's wonderful that they get to solve their own problems because they've got the access to your videos, which is great.
Yeah. And a lot of teachers are, I mean, I'm far from the only person who's doing this. There's a lot of people doing this. I think my channel kind of caught fire just because I put up like Uptown Funk. And to me, I joke about this whenever I present about this to other teachers, is, you just look at the view counts of my videos. I've got Uptown Funk, like 1 million views. And then there's, Go Tell It Roadie, 400 views, but that's okay. It brings it. We all know as teachers that whatever it takes to get the students excited about getting their instruments out and playing, it gets just the more playing time, the better, no matter if they're playing pop song or something from our book.
Mhm.
Well, and a lot of times those pop songs I've found are doing skills that might be a little bit more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I've had several beginning kids come in and show me the Pink Panther. Well, I'm sorry, I don't teach Pink Panther in elementary band usually, but they were motivated to play it because it was something that they knew and they recognized. So yeah, they went out and figured out all the extra pitches, or figured out with the help of the video,
Right.
how to learn that. And that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. And another thing that I think we all realize is you can teach, there are concepts that you can teach through any medium or any song. I think of the bass line for Uptown Funk. Whoops, where am I at here? Here we go. So the brass players are doing lip slurs there. Like trumpets are going EA and trombones are
Yeah.
going DG. So like if you have a student who's got problems with lip slurs, a beginner who's not getting into that next partial, they do Uptown Funk bassline, and that's because they have the song. They want to play it so bad because they can hear it.
Mhm.
It can help a student like that get over that hump.
That's great. So if teachers wanted to, they're hearing this and they're getting excited about it. First, we'll tell them to go to your YouTube channel. But what if they want to create some of their own videos? What would you suggest? Like how would someone get started like that?
Yeah, I would love to see more, and there are more and more teachers doing videos. And even if some teachers, and it's just totally understandable, some teachers want to keep everything in-house and don't necessarily want to put themselves out there on public YouTube, and different schools have different rules about students aren't even supposed to use YouTube, or so there's all kinds of things which are specific to your situation, which are totally fine. But my number one piece of advice that I think is a piece of advice that I have to try to remember myself, which is don't stress, don't worry about the production value. The kids just want the content. They want the information. It could be shot on like a 2003 flip phone, I don't know, or it like 240p or whatever that is, like the really they just want the information. So, and I think I get wrapped up too much in, I mean, if you could see my room, all this technology I have and the money I've spent on, this camera, this microphone, this mixer, this blah, blah, blah. And it's fun. It's fun to get into if you're into that sort of thing. But really just set up your laptop like we are right now, or your iPhone, or your whatever, and just talk like you're in your classroom and just have a lesson plan, have a concept. The second piece of advice I have is to keep your videos short and to the point of whatever, break it down into the smallest sort of whole sort of concept you can. So in other words, do one video on how to play hot cross buns. Don't do a video on how to play the first 5 songs in the book. But I think most teachers know that. Um, and one more piece of advice I would say is, again, this is along the lines of not getting wrapped up in bells and whistles and technology, and also not getting wrapped up in being a YouTuber, which I had my phase where I was a little bit too like, hey guys, in this video we're gonna bumpity bumpity ba, and now I've learned, just get to the point. I don't do preambles, and this is what we're going to do. This is, and in this video, I do a little bit of that, but I've really tried now to streamline my videos to video goes on, let's get to it. Pick up your instrument. We're going to learn this. This is a quarter note, something like that. And I think I learned that from, I'm sure both of you have the experience of wanting to know how to do something in your house. I don't know how to unclog your drain, or how to restart your furnace when it, conks out. And you click on these videos, and the person is talking for like, 5 minutes. You're like, click, 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 click.
Way
click,
too
click.
long.
Right. So that's what I try to remember when I'm creating my videos. So those would be my top 3 things. Don't spend so much time worrying about the format, how good it's going to look. Make your lessons in what word am I looking for?
Succinct, maybe? Is that what?
Yeah. Focused on one task.
Yeah.
And then getting right to the point and just giving the information.
Yeah, I think that's nice for the learner, right? When the learners, all they want is that information, and then they can move on and hurry up and do it. So
Yes.
yeah, that's awesome. So, well, this school year has been very unusual, and it was nice to celebrate with you that you had your first day back in person today, which was great. Is there something that you will take with you from 2020, 2021? That you were forced to try, that you might continue as you go?
Yes, I was thinking about this today. I think we all discovered this year how, if we didn't already know it, I guess we already knew it, but it was put into much more prominence how important the social emotional learning aspect of what we do is. I see what our high school band kids missed out on, and how it really detracted from their lives. So okay, let me put it this way. As teachers, we're all music majors. We nerd out on the content and the song we're going to play and this and that. And you realize how important for the kids it's just the experience of being in the room with their friends, playing music. It's probably those moments in the classroom where maybe as a teacher we can get a little annoyed that we're off track, but as the kids, that's what they're going to remember, right? Sure. And I am really going to, I think, embrace that a lot more. I think I've up to this point I've tried to make that experience happen for the students, but I think I'm going to even more embrace that and be aware of what a crucial factor that is in the students' lives, the social emotional aspect of them interacting with each other, supporting each other, validating whatever they're going through on a given day. Mm-hmm. I think that's been actually my biggest lesson coming out of this.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think we do forget sometimes that band kids just want to make music with their friends. It's just that simple sometimes, and making sure that we give them that opportunity and embrace that little bit of chaos when it happens and you're off track and you have no idea why in the world they're talking about whatever it is that they're doing.
Yes, absolutely. It's also the band director thing of, I just did this today. So before we started our official interview, we were talking about that today was my first day with that really felt like we were back to some sort of normal. I mean, we managed to get a marching band season with the kids masked and 6 feet apart, and we were outdoors and we temp checked, and the drill was all 6 feet apart the whole time. But today was the first day I had a nice group of about 20, 25 students in the classroom, masked, bell covers, all that stuff. And we were playing, band pieces, and it felt like it was just such an amazing feeling. It and reminded me of what these kids have been missing out on and what we've been missing out on as teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's something valuable of it getting taken away from us, so that when you do get it back, you just appreciate it a little bit more. I teach the littles, and I can't wait to just sit on the floor with them in a circle and sing. We have, I miss that. And I don't know how. There were times that I got very frustrated that we couldn't even make a circle. Now I can't wait to just make a circle with them, and we'll figure it out. And right,
Yeah.
those little things. It's like, it's why we teach. It's why we're there. It's why they're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. All right. So if people would like to connect with you, what would you suggest?
Okay. Well, I guess the number one place people know me and where you would want to find my videos is my YouTube channel. So if you search Dr. Selfridge Music, and I believe you can get straight to my channel with just youtube.com/Dr. Selfridge Music.
Excellent.
And by the same token, if you go to drselfridgemusic.com, what I have is I have a website where I kind of in a blog style, I'll link to my videos, and I have a lot of sort of sheet music content up there.
Okay.
We didn't get into this, but during the pandemic, I started doing weekly live streams on my channel. Actually, I did in the heart of the pandemic, when everything was completely shut down. I was doing 4 live shows a week. I was doing a beginner band show, an advanced band show, a jazz show, and everything, whatever you want show, like requests and things like that. So I have a lot of content up there, sheet music that's might be helpful for teachers. So it's drselfridgemusic.com. And then people can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
That's fun. Well, I know we're wrapping up, but what were the live streams like? Like what?
So it was really cool. I mean, especially when we were all completely shut down and we're all just sort of craving interaction in any form. And so I started really getting into the YouTube live stream feature. And that's where I, got some extra pieces of equipment, but, you can really
pandemic.
Amazon, Amazon Prime. But anyway, so it's really cool because the chat feature comes up, and I would just go, and students would ask questions, and I'd say, Joey has a question about how to play a D flat on the flute, and I would show, and things like that. So it was a really cool thing, and it's continued where I have a nice little audience who's a bunch of regulars who are there every week, and you know what, a number of adult musicians who are either sort of new, trying instruments for the first time, or they've just always been sort of on the side, been playing instruments. I have a good number of adult musicians. And on top of that, what's also super cool is I have these viewers who will put in the chat, hello, I'm watching from Brazil. Hello, I'm watching from Pakistan, or hello, it's like, whoa, this is so cool. Yeah. So having that international component there, having folks coming in from all over the world is really, really cool.
I love that you mentioned the adult learner, though, because that's still so valid. We often just think about music education, K to 12, we put it in that little box, but it doesn't need to end there. So you're now giving this complete other subset of students the opportunity to learn music.
Yeah, and as we know, they're some of the best students because they're doing it truly. There's 1,000 other things they could be doing with their afternoon, right? Mm-hmm. And they're there because of what music does for them.
That's awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much for everything that you're doing for music students of all ages, young and old, right? And for music teachers too, because you're helping us, provide some great things for our students. So we appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invitation.
Of course. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe below.
And follow us on social media. I'm at Musical Teresa.
I'm Singing Finch 1.
And you can follow the hashtag Pass the Baton Book.